Never done it. I've never used this. All right, so we're live. Hey everyone, Fraser Brooks here, coming to you live from Dubai in the United Arab Emirates, joined with a really good friend of mine, Andrew Logan. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, really good.
Good. My connection always
Technology.
awful. If you're watching on the replay, do me a massive favor by commenting replay. Let us know what city or country you're tuning in from. I know it's probably not changed for a while with all the lockdown stuff going on, but apologies for being late. We were using BeLive, didn't like it. It just didn't like me, didn't like Andrew, didn't like Australians, didn't like English, didn't like, I don't know, it didn't like any of us. So if you are tuning in, do let us know. Let us know that you're watching here. I can see the comments. This is really cool. StreamYard. This is using StreamYard.com, which is really cool. So it's actually streaming onto Facebook, I believe. I hope, and onto YouTube as well. So if you get, can you see it on your end?
No, I'm about to. I'm going to multitask.
Oh God, no! Don't be doing that, mate. It's all going to end in tears. So, mate, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you some quick fire questions, and then I'm going to kind of introduce you properly, and we'll go into your story and then all that sort of stuff. All right? Here we go.
Perfect.
So. Well, this is probably an interesting question because you've probably never even seen one of these options for a while, but pizza or pasta?
Oh, pizza, all day.
What topping? What's your favorite topping?
Everything. If I am going to eat pizza, we have Friday night is pizza night in the household. That's the cheap meal once a week. Dinner, movie. It's because it's the kids, right? The kids are both at school now, so Friday night is pizza and a movie, and we take rotating turns at picking movies. So when Jack's picking the movie, it's sometimes a bit interesting. We've got distracted already, but yeah, it's a pizza all day. As much as I love, my wife's an amazing cook, but pizza.
Yeah. All right. Okay, I get it. So, oh my God. Like, the thing is with Andrew, he's like literally like he can't even fit in the screen because he's that big. Like when I first met him, he was massive, and then 3 years later, he's like 3 times the size of that. So I didn't actually think he was going to even answer. I thought he was just going to be like, "Oh no, I don't eat pizza. Like it's carbs. Like I only brush my teeth with protein and all that sort of stuff." So here's one for you.
Ate
Do you have
with you the other day?
I know, actually. Yeah. Yeah, we went to an Italian. I'm gluten free. He's like Adonis, and like we were both eating pizza. It was kind of funny. Hot shower or cold shower? Honestly,
hot.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes, it's normal. It's normal. Thank God for that. Beaches or cities?
Oh, beaches over cities. Yeah.
Yeah, Australian.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's podcasts or YouTubes.
Podcast because I can drive. Podcast, walk the dog and podcast, driving podcast. Yeah, I don't have a Tesla yet, so I can't YouTube and drive.
That's so crazy how you could do that. So, if you and Angie were to go away on holiday, would you prefer to go on like a 3-4 day weekend getaway or a 2-week vacation?
With kids now, I guess you just take whatever you can get. Let's put it that way. I'd take a 2-year getaway if possible.
I love it. So, guys, this is my friend Andrew. Obviously, we're doing the Q&A, the quick fire here, but Andrew's actually the only person. I've done 3 generic events now in Australia. Andrew's the only person to have spoken at all 3 of them. And that's just because, number one, is because he knows his stuff. He's $1 million income earner in the industry in network marketing. He has come from a professional background. He is a professional network marketer, always teaches the right ways and right practices. But what he really excels in, for me, is teaching people like money mindset and wealth mastery within the network marketing profession. I believe that network marketing is the best business opportunity for anyone who wants to go from ordinary to extraordinary But the issue the network marketing industry has is that because it's a dream-based industry, we tend to buy and get our dreams faster than we probably should. For example, one of my dreams was to have a 3 Series BMW in black with the M Sport, like the M Sport with kit and the rims and the interior. I couldn't afford one, but when I was able to put a down payment on it, I was in. Because I thought, well, this is the dream. I can tell all my friends that this thing's working. And when the business kind of dipped for me, I couldn't keep up with the payments and I had to sell it. And that was really, really, really embarrassing kind of moment for me. So I think his message is really, really powerful. He knows his stuff. He's written a book. Andrew, obviously I'm stuck in Dubai. I don't have the copy of the book. Do you have the book there with you? I just want to make sure that because I want to talk about the book as well. So it's got an awesome title. I thought my title was good, I dare you. But Andrew's is like rock solid, called The Way Out. Teaching people how to, find the way out and get out of the rat race and stuff like that, and just some great steps. So, mate, can you just share with the guys? Because obviously not everyone's aware of you because it's an international audience. Like, what's your story? Like, how have you got to where you are right now?
Yeah, thanks, Fraser. And obviously, with a bit of fun and banter at the start, but honored to be on this call with you. And, obviously we've been mates for years. And so anytime we can do something like this together, it's great. So for me, I guess my story kind of I had the very traditional schooling, and I love my parents, and they sacrificed everything to get us, my brother and I, a private school education and then get us to university, because that at the time was the best way to get ahead in life. Get a good education, get a good degree, and then you can go along. So this is 1982. I was born, okay, and that was all my parents knew, and they sacrificed so much. And I got to university and just realized that I was a square peg in a round hole somewhat. It was like, I don't actually know if I'm meant to be here. And so I wasn't very good at attending university. I was very good at college. I was very good at the residential college aspects of university, but I just wasn't inspired for university. And strangely, I never really read at school. I read the English books because you had to, Catcher in the Rye and To Kill a Mockingbird and that bird, because you had to. But I started reading, and I read this book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And I'm sure, we've all read it. I'm sure if you haven't, you need to. And it just sort of started this light bulb moment of, actually, maybe there are different paths down there. And so, I finished university. I was doing physiotherapy or physical therapy, depending where you are in the world. And that was my kind of, well, at least I can travel the world as a physio, and I'll get a job with the Wallabies because there's so many of those jobs going, and just travel the world. And sure enough, I graduated, and I wasn't getting a job with the Wallabies, but I just spent all of my 20s essentially looking for alternate streams of income, and you name it, I tried it, and I just dived headfirst in. And I was single. I had a good income. I had a stable job with a good income and no real, anything to tie me down, which was a positive at the time. So I could make a lot of mistakes, and I made a lot of expensive mistakes. And, sometimes I'd make money and think I was amazing, and I'd lose it the next week and all. But I essentially tried everything. And I had this goal that I would be financially free at 33. That was like my mantra in 4 words. And it was just funny because nothing was working. Absolutely nothing was working. And then 3 days before I turned 30, I joined network marketing. Now, a friend had told me about it, 6-12 months earlier. And, the standard story that I'll do anything except that. And this friend's telling me about it. She actually worked for me, which was also a bit awkward. She was like an employee of mine. I had a small business partnership at that stage. But eventually, 3 days before I turned 30, we started it and dabbled for the first 12 months. Obviously, was happy and just dabbling along. I still had this, look, you've got a small business, get some property, do a bit of stock investing, that kind of mindset. And then I watched my friends start making really good income. And the snap when my wife fell pregnant with our second child. And that was okay, we really need to look at the time that we're creating in our life, because I could create money, by just working hard, but I needed to create time. And that's when we had to actually have a look. So I was probably 30 to 31 when we properly looked at this. And yeah, 32 and a half, I sold my business, and Andrew and I were financially free at 32 and a half. So I got there with 6 months, 18 months probably to spare. Like a day before I turned 34, I could have hit it. But I hit it at 32 and a half. And so I'm about to turn 38. So we've been home full time with the kids for about 5.5 years now, and which is really, really cool, obviously. And yeah, that's been our story. And obviously just love this industry. And really, and I know we'll talk about it a little bit more, but all the failures that I had in my 20s helped us so much. We just had to find, I spent my 20s with this hardcore apprenticeship on business and financial mindset. I just had to find the right vehicle. And then when I found it, we just took off, and life has never been the same, and just so grateful for that friend. If you're worried about badgering your friends, or you're worried about following up, well, I'm really, really, really glad my friend followed me up for 6-12 months.
Well, and that's it. And I think it's so important now that people understand that you are literally one reach out away to not just changing your life, but changing other people's lives as well. And when Jen obviously reached out to you as well, it's just amazing. It's just amazing what happens. Guys, what I want you to do is I want you to write down the age that you became financially free, or you're planning on becoming financially free. I love that, financially free by 33, but it also works at financially free by 43, financially free by 53, financially free by 63, financially free by 73. I just think having that goal, and you just visualized it, but then actually got off your arse and actually went to work. It's funny because Andrew's just got things in order, and obviously he's got kids. I don't, so I can learn a lot from people who have got kids and around kids. So I stayed at Andrew and Angie's house in Montville in Queensland in Australia. Incredible part of the world. Like, if you can just go there for the day, like knock on Andrew's house and just go see the view from his back garden. But I'm staying at his house, right? And I'm like, the Australians, they kind of wake up really early, but like people who are successful in business wake up a little bit earlier. Then people who are like really switched on with their health and nutrition wake up like a little bit earlier than that. So I'm like someone who kind of wakes up at like 8 a.m. So I'm thinking, like, when you stay at someone's house, right? You've got that really awkward kind of conversation. It's not really awkward, but it kind of is. It's like, when do you usually wake up? And Andrew kind of gives his time, and he's like 5:30, and I'm like, what? Like, you sleep in till 5:30 p.m. Like, that is ridiculous. You don't wake up. He obviously doesn't wake up at 5:30 a.m. So I go to sleep, and I'm thinking, like, there's another story to me falling asleep at their house, but I'm not going to go into that. Right? It involves snakes and snake traps. But I wake up, I don't know, it's like 7:30, get out, go to the kitchen, and Andrew's there on his laptop at the kind of the dining room table. Honestly, it's just, I don't even know how he works there. The view's just spectacular. And I'm like, how you getting on, mate? Like, good morning. He's like, yeah, just wrapping up my morning blitz. I'm like, what? And he turns around, and he's been to the gym. He's done like a power hour. He's blitzed through a load of emails. Then the kids come downstairs, and now he's sorting the kids out with Angie. I'm like, what is going on? So this guy's got so good, not just with his finances, but with his time as well, to be able to genuinely become financially free. But mate, you live your life. So it's so awesome. Being at those couple of days I spent with you, living at yours, was just a big shock to me on how structured you are with your time. So for the benefit of everyone tuning in, like, what are some of the tips that you could give the guys who want to not just make the money, but want to keep the money? Because as you know, like, you could make $2,000 a month and be richer than someone who makes $20,000 a month. If that person who's making $20,000 a month is being a bit silly with their money. But yeah, what are some tips that you can share with the rest of the guys?
Yeah, definitely. Just quick side note. Also in Queensland, Australia, the sun comes up at about 4 a.m. So it's not that easy to sleep in, right? It's like 38 degrees at 5 a.m. So, but come back, we talked about it before. And I guess, if we cycle back 8 years or so, one of the reasons I didn't want to get into network marketing and was negative towards this friend initially is because we as an industry sit there and we say, we're not a get rich quick scheme, we're not a get rich quick scheme. But then, as you say, the second we can upgrade the car, it's like, oh my God, everyone look at the car I bought. And then, you know, it's not a get rich quick scheme, not a get rich quick scheme, but look, like we're taking this holiday and we're doing this and we quit our job and we do all these like really bad financial decisions, and we just like self-actualize all the bad things that we talk about. And we say, friends like, oh, don't join that thing, it's a get rich quick scheme. And like, no, it's not. And then we make a few $1,000s, spend it really quickly just to show people that we got rich really quickly, right? So we're our own worst enemy at times, and that's what you know we're really passionate about. So what we need to understand in financial freedom and wealth creation and financial freedom is that it's not about how much money is coming in at the end of the day. It's how long can you survive. I think people think of wealth as a number. Like if I had $100,000 in the bank account, I would be wealthy. If I had $1 million, I would be rich. But the reality is, how long can you survive if your primary income source dried up? That's like just a pure like measurement of time, essentially. So what we do is we have this amazing business opportunity where we can create fantastic cash flow into our lives through a very small investment, a lot of energy, a lot of excitement, and going out into our network with products or services that we love. And we can create an income stream into our life, but we're too quick to raise our expenses as well. So I like to talk about, you know, visualize a big lake. And the goal is to have this lake overflowing. So if in a normal life, if you have a job, or your wife and husband, and so you have two jobs hopefully coming into the lake, you've got kind of two rivers feeding the lake. And then you're going to have all these creeks and streams coming out, and that's the home loan, the school fees, the holiday fund, whatever, the gym fees, etc. And then we bring in network marketing and we bring this other stream into the lake. But instead of letting the lake fill up, we're like, oh, well, let's get a better car, and we make that river coming out bigger. And then so we end up in this situation where we're not financially free, we're just on a bigger hamster wheel, essentially. We're like, Fraser, join me, get off the hamster wheel. And we actually just show people how to get on a bigger hamster wheel. And then what we do, even worse, is we're like, oh, I've got this like kick-ass rock star network marketing business coming now. I'm going to take away my job, and we're going to leave our jobs. And then it doesn't matter how good this river is. It could be a raging torrent. It only takes a little, rock fall upstream, or a little drought, a coronavirus or something to cause that river to slow down a bit. And we've created all these creeks and streams to come out of the lake, and the lake runs dry very quickly. So what we need to understand is straight off the bat that there are different types of income, and not all incomes are the same. And so when we build our business, we need to build the correct versions of income. That's the first thing. And the second thing is, it's not about how much money you're making, it's how much you're keeping and how hard is it working for you, so that you can sleep at night and wake up the next day okay. And the ultimate goal of financial freedom is to have multiple streams of income. And so, we've all seen that meme, the average millionaire has 7 streams of income. Now, I don't know if that's true. It's a Facebook meme. It's probably not exactly true, right? And the reality is, I guarantee you millionaires aren't out there building 7 different businesses at once. But what they are doing is they're building their business, and they're staying disciplined, and they're staying habitual, and they're treating it like a business so that people respect them like a business. And they're putting a little bit of money aside to just put away for that drought, or put away for that avalanche upstream, or they're putting away into just something else so that we can create another stream of income. Is it a property investment, or is it some stocks or something like that? And I'm not giving investment advice, obviously, but what if you just made sure that you created the habit of putting 5 to 10% away from the start, because you're not just here to get rich quick, you are here for financial freedom. And one of the biggest things we struggle with, I know, sorry, we're jumping around. I'm on a roll here, right? But one of the biggest things we struggle with is our friends and family don't take us serious, right? And sometimes we get negativity from those closest to us. But I guarantee you, if you take this seriously and like have a financial budget and start putting money away and doing the right things with it, everyone is going to take you so much more seriously, and people will respect you and your business more, and they'll be so much more willing to join because they see that you're treating this like the amazing vehicle as a stepping stone to financial freedom that it is.
Yeah, this is just absolutely good. That lake analogy is just so good. Guys, I want to ask you a question. How many income streams do you currently have right now? Now, for those of the people who are in 2 or more network marketing companies, that does not count as 2 streams. Like, and I want you to, you might think it does because you're getting paid twice, but it doesn't. It doesn't, because I genuinely believe that you should be focused on one network marketing stream. So if you have a job and your network marketing business, put 2. If you just network marketing, put 1. If you sell books, you have a network marketing business, you have a job, put 3. Like, I want to know how many we've got in here. We've got Lucy says 1, Valerie 3, Amy 2, Nancy 2, Joe Mary says 4, good work, Becca 1, Nicola 1, Catalin 3, Carol 2, Anastasia 2, Jennifer 6, good effort, right? I believe, like, Andrew, you've got a bunch of different income streams. Like, do you notice that, like, how have you found it every time you add an income stream? Like, is your workload getting higher, or are you generating income streams for investment? So are you turning your dollars into employees?
Yeah, definitely. And I think as well, it's a snowball effect, right? So I think, we currently have, a dozen rental properties at the moment. That's our big sort of thing. And so we have, our network marketing business, we have some other little, business investments, and we have a lot of property. That's where we tend to spend our money. And people are like, oh, how do you get 12? And it's like, well, you buy 1, and then, and then you just, the energy for me, and I guess without diving too deeply into this, and obviously talk about it a lot more on another date, but there's so many different types of investment. I think that's something that can confuse people is, are you investing for now? Are you investing for the grandkids? And do you want to be like the hands-on renovator? Like, people can renovate properties, or people can just buy and hold kind of thing. And it all comes down to, what are your goals? So for Angie and I, the properties are very much just to provide that extra income stream and put something away for the kids. So, we bought 1, and then as it went up, we kept putting money away and rolling over, and then we bought 2. So even though, in telling my story before, we did grow quite rapidly, but I kept working the whole time. And even then, when we sort of went full time, as a physio, I can still get casual work very easily. So I still actually do casual shifts here and there. And people are like, why do you do it? And the reason I do it is because I'm literally getting paid to leave the house and talk to people. It's an extra little bit of income, which is just, it's a cherry on top or whatever. It's not about the income. It's when you're full time, you can get caught behind a computer and just get lazy and get into management mode. So I want to keep that saw sharp and the blade sharpened. So I go out and I get paid to talk to people. Like, it's a win-win, right? And again, it's just that extra stream of income. And so financial freedom is so exciting, but the step before financial freedom is financial security. And financial security is being able to go to sleep at night and know that if something went wrong in your job, you had a plan B. And then once you have a rock solid plan B, then worry about your plan C, and then you can leave your job. But make sure you've always got at least 2, because you never want to be solely reliant on one form of income, no matter how good it is. It's risky to only ever have one form of income.
So if someone is in your team, right, because this happens a lot in network marketing when you get to a certain level, obviously, because Andrew's got such a massive business, you have people coming into your organization and joining and skyrocketing, and they come to you and say, Andrew, I'm considering to leave my job. I have a full-time job, I am a policeman, or I have a full-time job, I'm a nurse, I have a full-time job, I'm a physio, a full-time job, whatever. Like, what would be your advice? Is there like an equation? Is there just a conversation? Like, what would be your advice to someone who's looking to potentially go full-time network marketing, or to reduce, or to go part-time in their job? Like, what would you say to someone who's in that situation?
Yeah, and well, we hammer this from day one. So I don't have a lot of those conversations because I'm having them like right from the start. So I'm right. The second someone's earning, you know, $500 to $1,000 a week, we're having that conversation before they, you know, start to think about it. Mm-hmm. But so if you're out there, obviously, and you're wondering this and you're pondering, like, you know, I want to go, you know, like if your goal is to make $50,000 a year to match your that $50,000 a year job, right now, like while you're building that business, you're earning $100,000 a year, and the worst thing would be to just, okay, well, I'm making 50 grand here, so I don't need my 50 grand job, because you just went from 100 grand a year to 50 overnight. And then again, it only takes, like, I mean, some companies are seasonal, some products are seasonal, you know, winter's better than summer, or summer's better than winter, or Christmas is worse or better, you know, all businesses are going to be seasonal. So suddenly your 50 grand a year network marketing business drops down to 40 for whatever reason. All businesses have those drops, and you were struggling 3 or 4 years ago on 50 grand a year. And now you're like, even worse, you're on 40 grand a year, right? So you've got yourself in this position. So that's the first thing. But the second thing, from the formula point of view, you want twice, and you want to be earning that at least twice from the residual component of your compensation plan. And you need to be able to consistently do that for 6 months. And there's a few reasons for that. Obviously, there's like, again, there's bonuses, there's upfront, you know, commissions for bringing people in, there's bonus pools and Christmas bonuses and all that kind of stuff. None of that's residual. Like, if we want to have freedom, we want to know what's the actual back end. So when you look at your paycheck, and if you made $2,000, but 1,000 of it was bonuses, like that, enjoy that 1,000, go have a nice dinner. But that 1,000 residual is what you're actually going to do your calculation on. Now, we want to know that it's stable. We want to know that it's strong. And the reason we want to know that it's double is, like, dream bigger. I think people are like, oh, you're being boring. No, dream bigger. Like, if you were making 50 grand a year and you join network marketing for financial freedom, don't stop at 50 grand. Keep going until you're at 100 grand. Because, like, dream bigger and have a business that's massive and can, you know, and then it can feed your dreams a bit more. And in the meantime, like, if you're in a really toxic workplace or something, sure, leave that workplace, go somewhere else. Maybe it's a lower wage or better hours, but it's a nicer environment. Drop the weekend shifts or something, you know, don't just pull the pin, like, ease your way out. But remember, every day at work, you're having conversations with people, you're meeting people, you're getting out of the house, you're staying in routine. And, you know, a rolling stone gathers no moss, right? There's how many times do we see it, Fraser? The second people, I'm full-time now, I have made it, I'm going to put my feet up, and I'm going to do this, yep. Yeah. And the second you stop, like, you know, things go down. So you've got to even budget for that, and that's why you've got to be double. So at least double in the residual component for 6 months.
I love that. That is gold, because when you can then work towards that, you then make a solid decision. So what I want you guys to do, before I kind of ask Andrew the next question, is I want you to just figure out in your head, like, roughly how many months do you believe you could currently live off your residual income? Like, your residual income right now. Let's do it this way, because a lot of you guys are new. So the savings that you have in your bank account, or the investments that you've got, how many months could you survive on that? So if, let's say, coronavirus, the government said nobody can go to work, no one can be paid, you only got your savings right now, or the money that's coming in from your investments to live, and you still got your rent, you still got your mortgage, you still got your food, you still got all of this. How long, in basic math, do you think you could survive? Don't think about it too long. I mean, the number, you don't even have to share the number if you don't want to, but I just want to have an idea, because a lot of people, guys, it's zero. or it might even be 1. It might even be 2. The statistics are shocking. And this is why I'm bringing Andrew here, because for me, he's the expert in this situation. So if you've had value so far, please do feel free, consider subscribing here. I'm going to ask Andrew another question now. The question I'm about to ask, his answer might offend. I've not, by the way, guys, I don't prep any of the people I bring on. It's like just literally off the bat. His answer might offend some of you guys because you might have already done what he says not to do. It might not. But the question is, I've built it up now, haven't I? What's your opinion on people using their bonuses to buy a Chanel handbag, or to upgrade their car, or to move house straight away, or to go out there and just, straight away, first bonus, bang, go blow it? Like, what do you share with your team, and what do you teach other people, like what they should do instead? Because I've been there. I've bought the things which I shouldn't have bought, and I've had the egg on my face, and I've learned from my mistakes. But I want to make sure people aren't learning from their mistakes; they're learning from our mistakes. So yeah, what would you advise?
Well, definitely, it's a bad idea. That's an easy answer, right? But like, I want you to think about it from a couple of ways. So first of all, obviously, like, again, people are like, you're being a wet blanket, you're being boring. Like, people are working hard, let them celebrate. But I also want you to, if we know that we're going to sit there and say to people, like, when you join my team, like, we can do all this, but you've got, we've got to make some sacrifices. It's a 3 to 5 to 7 year business plan, right? And we're going to have to give up a few weekends and stuff like that. And we do need to just hold that mindset a little bit longer, because you also want to, what if I can just walk in and, Angie and I aren't car people. And I remember that was something when, when we were skyrocketing and recognition was coming in, and everyone's like, when are you upgrading the car? When are you upgrading the car? And I'm like, trust me, we'll do it, but we'll do it properly. So when it came to upgrading the cars, we walked in and there was just like, we take those, boom. Like, no, like, and the lady was like, do you need to negotiate price? And we're like, no, I want those 2 cars and I want everything, because I knew we could just afford them, right? But it's because we'd stayed disciplined for the years earlier. So what I want you to think about is, just always having that bigger vision and that bigger dream of the long-term vision of, I am not just here to upgrade my car. I am here to completely change my life. I'm going to leave a legacy for my children and my grandchildren, right? And if that means I just have to wait another year or 2 before throwing my cash, and then when you can like go out for dinner and have 12, 14 people at dinner and just pick up the bill, like Tracy did for us the other night, right? And she didn't even blink, right? Those kind of things, and being able to be in those situations. But I also want you to think about it from the other person's side of the coin, right? So let's say, and again, hypothetically, Fraser's joined, just joined up into my company or whatever, and there is a misconception out there that, network marketing, MLM, it's just overpriced products and a get-rich-quick scheme, right? And the worst thing you can do then is Fraser's like, man, I'm struggling. I don't like my job, and I'm really struggling in life. There's $500 or £500 left on my credit card. Andrew, I trust you with this last $500 pounds on my credit card. And then 3 days later, he sees me on Facebook, like, blowing it all on a handbag for my wife or something like that, right? But, And Fraser's sitting there like, man, I've just given this guy my last $500. I don't know if I can pay rent this week. And he's out buying a jet ski. Do you think Fraser's going to feel good about me, about the purchase that he's just made? Like, and that's the thing where we want people to respect our industry. We have to go first here on this, because there's no way Fraser's going to feel good about that investment he's made in me if he is like scraping together money and he's like, man, I've obviously bought $300 worth of stuff for $500. Like he obviously overcharged me, because then he bought it the second. Like, if you bought a house, you and Svetlana, but you see a real estate agent in Formby and you buy a house and you're like, man, it's a bit expensive, but it's the house of our dreams. And then does the real estate agent ring you and go, man, check this jet ski I just bought?
Yeah.
No, right? And I don't know if anyone owns jet skis in Formby, but
yeah, it would corrode very fast.
Yeah, but you would not feel good about the commission check you just paid to that agent, would you? And you'd be like, man, that agent just scammed us. Like, he obviously just took us for a scam because we paid him too much money. So again, it's not about being boring. We can live amazingly financially free lives of travel and lifestyle and all that kind of stuff. We just stay disciplined slightly longer and we have a financial plan every day. And I did brush on it before, but it's so much easier to create the habit from day one, because the second you get like, oh, I know what you say, Fraser, just wait till I make 1,000, then I'll start putting money away. And then you're at 1,000 and you're like, oh, I've just got to upgrade the car. When I'm making $2,000, I promise I'll put some away. And then it's like $5,000. Oh, I promise I'll put some away. It's so much easier just to create that habit, but it shows people that you are taking this seriously. You are going to change your life. You're going to change your kid's life. You're going to change your grandkids' life, because you are taking this seriously as the vehicle to financial freedom.
And you know what? It's funny you say that, because two things. I've always grown up on, yeah, but Fraser, you only live once. And that question has always made me go, yeah, well, if I don't buy it now, I might never buy it. But here's the thing. Does your family name only live once? If you have kids, no. Like Andrew Logan, his son is called Jack Logan. Jack's going to inherit. Jack's in a very, very privileged situation right now. Jack is going to have his life. Jack then has kids. They then have his name, right? And so on and so on. You live once, yes, but your family name doesn't live once. And I genuinely believe this. I look at the richest men on the planet, or the richest women on the planet, and I go, they've got a few things in common. Number one, they are huge into personal development. Like all these guys, Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, they are huge into personal development. Do network marketers do the same thing? Yes, it's conditioned into every single one of us. Number two, they own their own business. They don't have a job. And I'm not saying anything bad about a job. That's all great. But they all run their own business, or have their own business, or a part of their own business. Okay, great. Network marketers are the same. They have their own business. Number three, they're super smart with their money. Like, they are you won't see Warren Buffett going to Vegas and putting like £3 million or £30 million on red, right? So, and network marketers have the same, but that's been the missing key. Network marketers, the average network marketer, are not smart with their money. And that's why I'm bringing Andrew into the conversation more and more and more, because we need to level this up. I genuinely believe network marketers can be the richest people on the planet. Number one, because of the networks that they have. Networks, net worth, like people with the biggest networks are usually the richest people. We're naturally networkers. Number two is we are huge into personal development, and the value that we can give to one another is massive. And number three, we're building willable assets that pay residual income, so that Andrew can pass on his income to his two kids, and they can pass it on to their kids and their kids and their kids. Imagine if your grandkids turn around and say to their kids and say, you know what? It was a great granddad Andrew. He busted his back. He broke his back building this residual income, and now it's going to be passed on to you. You will never have to worry about income ever again. Guys, I get to ask people all over the world, what is the true reason why you want to do this business? The majority of people say security. Whether it's it's mainly financially, but they want security for not just them, but their family. The only way you're going to get this is through financial freedom. So, Andrew this has been great, guys. Let me know in the comments if you've enjoyed this so far, because I've got literally all these notes. This is the only piece of paper that's in Dubai right now. It's full, double-sided. It's amazing. But Andrew actually wrote a book called The Way Out. Andrew, I'm going to put the link up, because again, guys, I only promote things that I genuinely. I'm not an affiliate with this. I just think this book is needed. But if someone was to get this book, mate. I'm gonna put the banner on here. I think that's added the banner. I hope. There we go. AndrewLogan.net/book. It's a completely generic book. Again, I would not promote anything unless it was. I trust Andrew with pretty much everything in my life. I've known him that well. We've got that kind of relationship. Someone reads the book. Like, let's say I've got the book right in front of me. And guys, I'm promoting this when I've got my own flipping book, right? But let's say I've got the book in front of me and I read it from cover to cover. What will I have learned? What will I have discovered? What's the kind of idea behind the book?
Yeah, thanks, Rose. So as you say, like the goal isn't to live forever. The goal is to create something that does. And that's what, like I really wanted to do with this book is show people how to create something that lives forever. And so it's essentially two parts. So part A of the book is how to actually build your business. So it's how to, create your story, how to talk to your warm network, how to, talk to cold network, how to, the basics of attraction marketing and stuff. I mean, Fraser's way better on that than me, obviously. So, I added that, and then I actually just tell like people to buy Fraser's book on that one. But then we talk about how to actually, and the big thing is how to actually, find and mentor leaders. It's such a standard question that people come to with, how do I find great people? And it's not really finding them; it's what you do with them when you find them. There's all this kind of duplication, reproduction, template scripts is how you get started, and that's kind of the first section of the book. Then we need to go into actual mentorship and evolution and initiative and innovation to grow leaders. And then you start having a business that runs without you. So the first half of the book is how to kind of hustle, how to create leverage, how to grow the team and train the team. That's active income, that's hustle, that's leverage income. Then we move into residual, creating residual income. And that's how to actually train and mentor those leaders to take over, so that then you can go off and sip a cocktail on a beach somewhere and know that your income's taken care of. So that's steps 1 to 4. So the full title is The Way Out, the 7 Steps to Financial Freedom. So steps 1 to 4 are basically building, hustling, and then growing the team, and then mentoring the leaders. And then part B is the final 3 steps. And that was my real thing with the book, is that we focus so much on the start, as we're cycling back to what we spoke about right at the start, is we focus so much on here's this amazing business model, and it is. But we've also got to show people how to actually take care of their money. What do you do afterwards? And because no one ever got rich by spending all their money. As Fraser was sort of saying before, Warren Buffett didn't become worth billions and trillions of dollars because he was out spending his money all day, right? He got his money and he created it, and then he reinvested it. And he took care of it. He treated it like a business and reinvested it. So the second half of the book is very much how to treat this like a business, what that actually means. I think it's such a great tagline in this industry, right? Like, treat it like a business, it'll pay you like a business. But if you've never run a business, what does that actually mean? So we talk about that. And then actually, get into that kind of wealth and money mindset, the lake analogy, why we talked about some of the money mindset things we have and going on in there, and how to create those final step to have financial freedom. So it's essentially my kind of 7-step blueprint on building the team, or hustling, building the team, training the leaders, and then creating wealth and financial freedom.
Mate, I absolutely love it. And you know what, mate? This is why I never ever do a call or listen to anything without a piece of paper and a pen, because what you said there, like, the goal's not, and you know what, I've been around personal development for 25 years now, which sounds ridiculous being 32, but 25 years now I've been aware of personal development and actually making notes on personal development. I've never ever heard the goal's not to live forever. The goal is to create something that does. Never ever heard that before. And that is just epic. I can see people have written that in the comments. I think that's absolutely incredible. So guys, what I want you to do is, there's a few things here. There's a few dares for you. Number 1 is I want you to sit down with your family or your partner or just yourself and your dog or whatever it might be. And I want you to be aware of what your monthly outgoings are. Now, this might be a boring exercise. Man, I can't be bothered. I hate this. I just want you to be aware of like what it is. And then I want you to multiply that kind of number by the number of months you expect to still be on this planet. Now, I know this might be very, very difficult for a lot of you guys, but do till 100, right? We might even live past 100 with the way like technology's going. And Andrew will live till he's 237 probably, for a lot of different reasons. But so figure that number out. That is the number that makes you, in my opinion, that's, you don't have to work ever again. But obviously, when you get into this, what Andrew's going to teach you in this book is he's going to teach you how you can basically live longer in terms of passing it on generation to generation. So the second thing I want you to do is go to that link and get yourself a copy of the book. It's not like my book funnel where you're going to get offered different things. It's literally buy the book, digital copy or physical copy. Digital copy or physical copy.
I have nothing else to offer.
Yeah. Sorry, mate.
Except my friendship. But yeah.
That's it, mate. Well, yeah, go ahead and get yourself a copy. But what I want to know from you guys is when you get the copy, digital, physical, and you read it, I want you to let Andrew know. This could be hard. Sorry, Andrew, but I want you to let Andrew know what you liked best about the book. So you just message him on Facebook, or you just, I don't know, Instagram or email him or whatever it might be, or even just come back to this live and let us know in the comments, because I genuinely want people. One of my big goals is to make network marketers the richest people on the planet. And we are the exact opposite, because people are just blowing their money. And I can tell you from my own experience, I've made a lot of money and I've lost I've lost more somehow. I don't even know how that's possible, but I did, because I didn't realize about taxes. My mum and dad, they made a lot of money, but they've not mentored me with money, because they're not very good with money either, right? The more, and this is a classic, the more you make, the more you earn. It just happens. You get caught in this trap of like, oh, I'm making 10 grand a month now. Hey. I'm not going to get takeaways. I'm going to eat out every night. I'm going to tip all sorts. I'm not going to stay at the 3-star hostels that I used to when I was, traveling when I was, when I was younger. Now I'm going to stay at the 5 stars. Of course, I'm not going to stay for a week. I'm going to stay for 2 weeks. And you start living this life that you think you're deserving of. My goal for you is for you to live your life and buy the things based on the income that you generate from your investments. Me and Andrew spoke about this before. Like, what's your kind of investment car? I think Andrew's yours was a Maserati. I think it was, right? And we've talked about mine's the Porsche. Like, I want the 9F, but I will not get it until I can afford to buy it through investments that I've made. What's your take on it?
Yeah, can I jump in on that one too, Fraser? Sorry, I don't want to be holding everyone for too long, but just something to think about with that as well. And it's something, I mean, 4 or 5 years ago, Angie and I moved to a brand new town and then a whole new city. And then we just recently moved to a brand new town. So you're obviously meeting a lot of people. And again, it's not, I don't want to be boring, but I'm not a very we love the home we're in and nice cars and that, but still I want to be able to walk down the street and be relatable to everyone I'm going to meet. And to me, that is like something that, again, we can lose. Once we start to success and the old school network marketing and, the old school network marketing that Fraser grew up in, and it's all about the cut of your suit and the watch you're wearing and stuff like that. The brand new person that I'm going to speak to tomorrow has probably never done personal development, has probably never dreamed bigger. They've probably never peeked outside of the box. And I need to be relatable to them. They need to look at me. The most powerful thing in network marketing is, man, if Fraser can do it, I can do it. If Andrew can do it, I can do it. And if I'm like 27 steps down the thing and they look at me and I'm just like, I'm too good for you. I'm making all this money and look at what I'm wearing and look at what you're wearing. They can't see me as someone who's approachable and someone who's relatable, and I can't connect with them. So it's a trap that we fall into. At every level, there's traps. I think people are like, if I just make $1 million a year, there won't be any problems. You've just got different problems. Yeah. And some of them are like, do you go to Tahiti or Maldives? That's one of the problems. But like that kind of challenge, right? When you go away. But it is also like, it's still so important to me to be a good human who is relatable to, my kids. My son's going to have friends and he's going to come over, and I want them to feel welcome in our house and not feel threatened or overwhelmed or that we're too good or anything like that. I want them to know that we are two good people who work hard and we love our kids and we give to charity and we do all those things. And we've been able to achieve that through this amazing business called network marketing. And if we can, you can. And here, let me tell you my story more, right? So I think it is so important that, yeah, it's we have this amazing cash flow generating business. And as Fraser said, the richest people don't have cash. The richest people have cash flow. Yeah. And that's what network marketing offers, right? It's a cash flow investment. We're just got to make sure we take care of it and treat it. Otherwise, we treat it like a get rich quick scheme, and people tell us it's a get rich quick scheme.
I mean, I'm so happy you say that, because at the end of the day, when you're sat on your deathbed, you're coming to the end of your game. What are you thinking about? Are you thinking about that Louis Vuitton handbag you bought? Are you thinking about the leather or the car needs sorting? You know, are you thinking about your pristine red Ferrari, or are you thinking about, when I leave this, are my family going to be okay? Like, are my family going to be financially secure? Are they going to be fulfilled? Are they going to be happy with what I've done? What's my legacy? Or granddad used to have a great Ferrari, or granddad built this incredible business, and this is why we don't have to go to work.
Yeah, I know we could obviously talk for hours on this, and I know you can talk about it very quickly. I want my kids to every day be like, man, that is the power of hustle, of passion, of energy, of excitement, when they look at what Angie and I do every day. And you were the same with your parents, right, Fraser? If, we could just put our feet up and watch Tiger King and, for the rest of our lives, right? We could. We have created that lifestyle where we could just turn the phone off and do it, right? But I don't want my son coming home from school and just saying, "Oh, like, what have you done today, Dad?" "Oh, not much."
Yeah.
I want them to see, and people, to the parents out there, "Oh, I don't want my kids to see me work." You know what? I want my kids to see me hustle for my passion. I want them to see me create a goal, hustle. So can I tack on to your dare, Fraser?
Yeah.
When you sit at home, that dare Fraser gave you, when you sit at home tonight and you're like looking at your goal, what I want you to do is I want you to create a financial goal, whether it's you or your partner or your family, and then you've got to match your business financial goal, right? We're really good at like, what rank do you want to be? What, how many of this and how many stars and stripes do you want? But what is your actual family or your personal family financial goal, right? And how is your business going to play into that? Because that's the same thing then. Like if you do make $1 million next year in your network marketing business, that's amazing, right? But where are you going to put that? So you got to know, when that $20,000 check comes in each week, what are you actually going to do with it? And hot tip, put some away for tax, just like while you're there. Maybe you should. But what are you actually going to do with that? Because that's where a lot of challenges come, because they're like, oh, the new car, the this and that and that, and we get to the end of the year and we haven't actually reached any family financial goals, and we don't know why we're tacking that. So just when you're doing that dare Fraser gave you, marry those two up. Marry your business and your family financial goals, so that when that check comes in each week, the whole family is working together to reach that goal with your business.
Absolutely amazing. Guys, do me a huge favor. Let Andrew know in the comments that you how much you loved and appreciated that, because he's just taken an hour out of his time. It's late over in Australia, and he could have been watching Tiger King as well, and he didn't. So he's going to be an episode behind on his time now. So yeah, obviously let him know. Also, let me know in the comments if you're going to get yourself a copy of that book. Do yourself a favor. Let your guys know as well. Let your team know. Let your friends know in network marketing to go ahead and read it. Even people who aren't in network marketing will probably get value from it as well, because it might open their eyes, just like Rich Dad Poor Dad opened mine and Andrew's eyes. That was the book that changed the game for me as well. This is just such a needed book, and it will go very, very well in your collection. You're going to learn so much from it as well. This is the first book I believe apart from my own, I believe I've done a live promoting. And I just believe in it that strongly, and the skills that Andrew's got. So guys, with that, Andrew, mate, thanks so much, buddy. I'll text you in a little bit. I just appreciate all the value and all the stuff you've just shared.
Yeah. Can I tell a funny story to finish? Fraser, always good to finish with humor.
Go on, let's do it.
A few years ago, Fraser and I met face to face. Obviously, we chatted over online, and we finally met face to face. And there was a little incident with Fraser's dog and my son. Now, we won't go into that incident, obviously, here, but the funny story I want to tell, and I didn't get a chance to tell this on stage the other day, so I'm going to take my 30 seconds now. But we've come home, right? We're back in Australia, and Fraser's, and we're chatting on Messenger, and Fraser's like, I'm going to come out and do this event, and if you can help me out, and blah blah. I'm having this chat, and I'm like, come and stay with us. We've just bought this new home, and we're having that conversation. And I come out to the kitchen, and my wife and our son are there in the kitchen. And I'm like, hey, Jack, do you remember Fraser? Do you remember that guy we met in Liverpool? He's going to come and stay. And Alfie has actually died in between these two scenarios, right? And Fraser's like, is that the dog that ate my donut? And we're like, yeah. Angie and I are like, yeah. And he said, is the dog coming? And my wife is very emotional and very maternal, and she puts her hand on Jack. I'm like, oh, no, darling, that dog actually died the other day. And Jack goes, good, and walks off.
But mate, it was so. Mate, for me, it was absolutely hilarious because when he was at our house, Alfie just literally stole the donut. Jack, he was gutted. Just turned to his mum and kind of went, "Mum, the dog just ate my donut." Like, just so chilled. And then he had a poo on the sofa, which was
we weren't going to get into that, but yeah,
we weren't going to get into that. I just thought I'd just have it back. Yeah. All right, mate. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate each and every single one of you. If you got value, please do feel free to consider sharing this, and I'll see you all soon. Bye, guys.
Thanks, mate. Bye.